I want to go over a grip break that is super effective, whether it's in Shuai Jiao, self-defense, just regular grappling or whatever. It's one you might already be doing, but if we highlight it and maybe then we find the function of it, we can highlight some ways we can do it better, get some different body method into it. So from here, this happens a lot, okay? Somebody will control. Now, is it likely that this is going to ruin your day? Probably not, but it's something you have to deal with. If somebody grabs there, they might be setting you up. They might be waiting to see what you are going to do. And so we want to make sure that when we break this grip, we're doing it in a way that's strong, functional, and keeps us active within our strategy. So first off, we take it and we fold it over. This is called mian. We fold it over to change his angle that he gripped with. When we're looking to expose the weak part, which is the wrist, underside, and fingers. So once I expose that, that's where I attack, you see? And I want this light, almost percussive movement. And there's a slight opposing, you see? If I do it really big and dramatic, my arm goes over there. If I do it small, it's just right here. So as soon as they grab, it doesn't have to be as soon as they grab, but if they grab, you can relax in your space, you drop it, and now it's yours. And you see how I was able to use that to gain an angle and to gain a step maybe? It's not necessarily something that is gonna be a given, but if you get comfortable with the technique, you move in your space, then you might be able to find that. And so, once again, here's the basics of the technique. They've got that grab, you don't attack it there, right? You relax and let it roll over. And if you can relax and soften it, that's even better, because if you relax and soften it and then pop, they're not quite ready for it, okay? So they catch it, you relax and soften and pop. Now, this hand snaps through, like a pluck, we would call it, pluck. Like if you think of a snap bracelet, the bracelet hits and closes, and then it adheres, right? It adheres. So it snaps, and as that happens, I just open my arms and it's adhered, and this hand searches, okay? So here, adheres, searches, right? Makes these connection points. So now you're in tight for whatever it is you're doing. Also, or you can retreat, empty, and find that position for whatever you're doing. But both of those, we want to learn to make this movement small and percussive. So not, right? If he's smart, he'll just run me down. He'll see me start doing this, and he'll just start running me through, right? Whether it's for taking strikes, or if it's a wrestling situation, just spearing him, okay? So instead, we want it to be one, smooth and fluid, and strategy. So keep this hand, if this hand is up and active and doing something, keep it there until you're ready to fold it and get into that other spot. That keeps his attention somewhere else. So a lot of times, as soon as someone gets this, I'll go and attack the same thing, or I'll reach out and have there. Maybe I get a freebie, and then maybe it's easy, I can just do that and take it out, who knows? But if I reach out and I miss something there because they move it back, right? Well, that's a great time to take that arm away. And so that's how we can start really focusing in on one technique that's going to really be easy to use. Now, if my arm was here and he grabbed it low, okay, I can come up, same concept, here to the side, right? Same concept. This is less likely, much less likely in a wrestling situation for somebody to be grabbed. This is more definitely self-defense, where you're like, what the hell? And somebody grabs you from behind. Wrestling is you're here, and like I said, they might grab you to see what you're gonna do, or to get a control, or to see if they, how are you paying attention, right? So you wanna not be baited right away. So I grab, he's got that, he can pull it in to his center to do the technique, and then see what's there, right? Good. Nice. You just see what's there. Good. Nice. So, boom. Good. Just like that. Thanks, Evan. Real simple technique, keeps you in your space. If you had, this could be done with or without the jacket. Helps us to work from the wrist, that a grab into a grab of our own, and a transition point into something else. So it's just a really simple technique that you can bring into whatever sort of grappling or hand-to-hand situation you would like.